Welcome to the second section of Unit 2 over integers. We're going to talk about an idea that's really pretty simple. It's called absolute value. And really all absolute value is it's a distance from 0 on the number line. Sorry, get my pen style up here. So it is a distance from 0 on the number line. So if you plotted a number on the number line and you wanted to measure how far away it is, that is absolute value. So let's go ahead and number our number line here. We'll go up to from negative 10 to 10, like it says. Let me try something with my pen here for a second. Not quite sure why I'm not getting the little pencil sign. I don't know what that's about. Okay, I'll keep going. Sorry about that. So let's say let's get a different color here, like green. If you want to know how far 5 is from 0 on the number line, well, it's just 5 units. If I were to see how far negative 5 is, well, negative 5 is also 5 units away. So we say the absolute value of 5 is 5, and the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So let's come down right here where we're actually finding some absolute values. The absolute value of negative 8 just means this question that I've asked you right here. How far away from 0 on the number line is the number negative 8? Well, it's 8 units away. How far away is 8 from 0 on the number line? Well, it's also 8 units away. How far is 0 from 0 on the number line? Well, it's no units away, so it's 0. So just like most things in math, there's a symbol, and the symbol for absolute value is actually just bars. They're like straight vertical bars up and down. So this statement I put right here is important. It says, in general, absolute value is always positive. We said it was a distance, and distance cannot be negative. But just because something cannot be negative does not mean that it is necessarily positive. So I put, can you think of an example in which the absolute value is not positive? So you might think for a minute, and once you have, if you think, well, I don't know, everything's either positive or negative. Well, what about 0? If I took the absolute value of 0, we already said that that was 0. We cannot call 0 a positive number because it isn't. We say 0 is non-negative, but it's also non-positive. It is neutral. So I wrote an important statement here, so let's highlight it. And that is this: in all cases, absolute value is non-negative. It would be true if we said in most cases absolute value is positive, but there's this one special case where that would be incorrect. That's why we say absolute value is non-negative, so that we're speaking the truth all the time. Basically, I've written here what I just said. They yawn in there. Well, absolute value can do more than just find absolute value. It can actually also serve as a grouping symbol, which we touched on in lesson 1.5 with order of operations. Well, the absolute value of negative 6, that's, in this case, we're not grouping anything because we just have one number there. Oh, let's go back to the pen. So that is actually just plain old 6. 6 units away. But when you get over to number 5, your absolute value symbols are actually doing a little bit more than just representing absolute value. They have a math problem inside. So they're doing two things. They're grouping the problem inside, and then they're asking you to take absolute value. So I usually just bring down the bars, work out the problem inside. In this case, it's 7 times 2, 14. How far is 14 from 0 on the number line? Well, it's 14 units away. Got a couple more here. If we work what's inside first, so notice I have a minus sign outside of the bars this time. So just bring that down, work on what's inside, just like they were parentheses. 8 plus 7, that's 15. Now we want to take the opposite of the absolute value of 15. So you can think of it like I just said, this means the opposite of the absolute value of 15. Or you might just think about, excuse me, bringing down the negative, and then you just take the absolute value of 15, which is 15. Let's try our last one here. Bring down the bars, negative 5 plus 5. Even though we're just now getting into integers in our next unit, not our next unit, I keep saying that, I'm sorry. In our next section, we're going to talk about adding and subtracting integers, but when you add two numbers that are opposites of each other, like 5 and negative 5, it makes sense if you owe $5 and then someone gives you $5, well then you're back at square one. You have no dollars, so that's actually 0. So the absolute value of 0 is 0, and then this negative sign, you're just dropping down. Now you wouldn't want to leave your answer like that because the opposite of 0 is just 0. So at the bottom I just wrote a statement. It comes up a lot, and I'll hear students say absolute value is always positive, and that's just simply not true. It is, except when the absolute value is equal to 0. So to be true all the time, you would say absolute value is always non-negative. And with that, I will say good night. See you in section 2.3 when we talk about how to add and subtract integers.